an easy resource for physicians looking to become better leaders. We're going to be talking about a book that's just coming out and written by multiple chief medical officers, including myself, but led by a fantastic CMO who I'm bringing on board to talk about this book. My name is Dr. Olszyk. I am the founder and the CEO of Lead Physician Online Leadership Program for Physicians. I'm also the Chief Medical Officer for American Endovascular and Amputation Prevention. Go to our YouTube channel and subscribe so you can be notified for any future videos that come on. And let me just introduce you to Mark Olszyk, who I'm just so fortunate to have met, and he got a bunch of people to write this book. It's called the Chief Medical Officer's Essential Guidebook. Yeah, I'm just so curious to ask him, like, how did he even decide to write such a book? And what is it exactly about? This is all done in conjunction with the American Association for Physician Leadership, this group. Check them out online. And there's contributors to this book, including Mark Olszyk, who really got a bunch of busy doctors who are CMOs to put this together. I don't know how he did that. And we have co-editors here, Aaron Dupree, co-editor Rex Hoffman, and a forward by Peter Angud, who is the CEO of AAPL. So without further ado, let me bring on board Mark. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. It's hard to believe it's been about a year since we talked about doing this, and here we are.
Yes, here you are. What a feat. Tell us a little bit about why you decided to write this book and who should read it, and what are any physicians out there who want to learn about leadership? Why should they be picking this up?
Okay, yeah. So I've been a chief medical officer for almost 10 years, and I had a colleague who also became a CMO about 3 or 4 years ago. And before he started, I guess I gave him a few tips or pointers. I forgot about it, but he didn't. And about a year later, he said, "Hey, Mark, can you give me that list again?" I was like, "What list?" And I tried to recreate it. And I thought, you know what? I'll just get him a CMO book. There's got to be some out there. There's a book for everything. So I looked and just couldn't find anything. Then I realized someone should write one. And I figured I could start that effort, and it took flight, and we got a lot of contributors, including yourself. And the book is just being published this week.
Right. Wow. Yeah. So, Mark, you are CMO of Carroll Hospital in Maryland, and you're also a board certified emergency medicine physician, vice chair, American Board of Physicians. So you have all these leadership roles. What were the major takeaways? Like, what made you? How did you just structure this book, and what do people get away from reading this?
Sure, and that's a great question. So initially, I was just looking for people who wanted to contribute to the book, and it's a little bit like writing a symphony without knowing how it's going to turn out. And some folks had their own little piece of music and their own instrument. Others, I had to assign instruments or assign music. And then at the end, we had to blend them all into something that's harmonious, because everyone spoke in their own voice about their own experiences. And as I mentioned in the introduction, I didn't want this to be 10 tips or one crazy thing CMOs do or learn this one trick. I want it to be a bunch of experiences and really personal stories, not just about successes, but about failures and mistakes and things that we did and learned from. And you'll see a lot of the authors, a lot of the contributors go into their own stories, and they say, well, I did it like this, but boy, I really wish I had known more. And here's my advice. If you find yourself in similar circumstances, do it like this. Learn from me. Don't learn from your own mistakes. Better to learn from somebody else's. So the book is broadly broken up into an introduction. What is a CMO? If you don't know what a CMO is, a chief medical officer, and that's the section to start with. And then broadly, like an anatomy course, it's broken into the guts and sinews. What are the basic metabolic functions of a CMO? And then the next section is about relationships. And these are all written in dyads. The CMO and the chief nursing officer will collaborate on one chapter. The CMO and the chief financial officer, the CMO and the chief executive officer. So it's the heart. It's all about relationships. And then animals developed brains and eyes to see where they're going and what they're going to do next. And that's all. And then the next section is all about external relationships, how to navigate external review agencies, joint commission, accrediting agencies. How do you deal with the wider world, the media? And then finally, we get into the transcendent. So aspirational type things, the soul of the CMO, all about ethics and values and equity, and then the future. So I think there's a logical progression through the book,
Mhm.
and anybody can pick up any single chapter that speaks to them, or you can read it, from cover to cover, and it should have a nice narrative feel to it.
Yeah, I like the fact that this is applicable to any physicians who are looking, no matter what position that you're looking for, and more physicians are needed as healthcare is changing into leadership roles,
Mhm.
whether it's at the medical director's level or assistant medical director or being part of a committee, and not necessarily being a CMO. Would you agree?
Oh, I agree completely. We need a lot more physicians to step up into leadership. They know what it's like to take care of a patient. They know what it's like to assume that risk. They know what it's like to really internalize that concern and that worry, and be a professional, and to relate to all kinds of other professionals and hospital staff. And we need those experiences in leadership roles.
Awesome. Let's talk about how people can buy this book right now. I know there was this really long link that
Yeah.
you guys have. I'll tag that to the post. But to make it easy, you can go to bit.ly/CMO guidebook. Again, bit.ly/CMO guidebook. There's also a customer service number that was given, which is 1-800-562-8088. 562-8088. And do you mind if I share your email address, Mark?
Please do. And if anyone's interested in buying more than one copy, there are bulk discounts. I can forward that information as well. So go ahead and email me there at markessentialcmo.net, just like the
Awesome.
book. Yeah.
And a meeting coming up for AAPL?
Yeah. In Chicago, the Windy City, about 3 weeks from now in June.
Yep.
About 500 people are going to attend. I guess there's always room for more.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for physicians stepping up to the plate and helping us gain control of healthcare and being a part of it and making it better for our patients and better for all stakeholders involved. My name is Dr. Olszyk. If you have a podcast that you want to give with me, reach out to me at info@drlcyco.com, and or also join us at leadphysician.org. So any last words for us there, Mark, as we close?
I hope folks enjoy the book and find it of value. I'll welcome feedback either way. But Elsie, it's been an absolute pleasure. Been looking forward to this for a long time. So thank you.
Oh my God, thank you so much. And it will be published, right, on June 2nd, right?
I
Is
think
it?
it's. I think the presses are rolling right now. So
Okay.
it's being printed this week, and it should be out electronically. Definitely, the deliveries start first week of June.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Get your copy now.